Welcome to the quarterfinals of the Cup of the Simulation Soccer League. I'm Socc, back from his break, joined here by Sarah, the voiceless creator. Sarah, we're finally into the knockout stages. What are we looking forward to here tonight?
Well, I'm looking forward to what I hope is going to be some straightforward matches. I am the voiceless creator and feeling a little voiceless today, fighting a little bit of a flu. So we're going to hear a lot more of Socc, I think. But otherwise, I'm excited for our D2 versus D1 matchup. It's going to be Seoul versus Catalunya at some point. But
Yeah.
we get started with Tokyo versus Hollywood here.
Yeah, well, we do also have, I believe, 7 of the 8, thanks to a tough group for Inter London that resulted in 3 not going into 2, and as such, Inter London, the recent Division 2 champions, were knocked out. And so, as such, Athênai and Hollywood did end up progressing for this first match, though it will be one of those teams that did progress. FC Hollywood going against Tokyo Sporting Club.
Absolutely. We're going to see a quick lineup. I hope. Yeah, we should see one here. Nope, never mind. I lied. So what Hollywood are going to be lining up in is a asymmetric 4-2-3-1 with those two attacking midfielders. On the other side of the pitch, I believe not Athena. It is going to be Tokyo, and they are lined up in what I want to say is a 4-3-3. Let me just double check. Nope, a 4-2-3-1 as well.
All right, so both teams going with similar formations, but Tokyo staying with the symmetry, as they'll have early chance here and they score! It's Skyrise with a quick cross in from Soderberg that was immediately tapped home. Didn't feel like the defenders were crowding them well, and it's an easy tap in goal. Tokyo go up 1 early.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened here for Hollywood. It looks like everyone kind of lost Skyrise there. Absolutely nobody close to him. Credit to Soderberg for finding him in the box there.
Yeah, Helena Soderberg doing very well on that cross. That's the assist, and it kind of didn't look like they were going to get anything out of that corner, but it was also thanks to Pat Toastman who was able to sweep and then get the ball out to Soderberg wide, and now another chance here for Visser, but Visser tried to be too fine with it and puts it wide of that top corner. Only attacks on here from Tokyo. They've done very well here to get things rolling here in this first 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Though it is the first 10 minutes of potentially absolutely two first 10 minutes. That's a shot from Bobby for Berger. What I'm trying to say is this is a two-legged affair, and this is the first leg. Tokyo are at home, and away goals do matter, so Hollywood going to be looking to pick one of those up, likely as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the most lethal teams that exists in this league likely will be able to produce something here as they look to try and find one early here. Taka finds Liang Kwai, goes over the box, going across field for Bobby. Bobby tries to go back in, but it's cleared away by Rob right back to him. Just trying to find Hog on the end of that and couldn't do so. Now Soderberg ends up getting away a backwards clearance. Then it was found Visser. Visser against Puttanesca, pass intercepted there, Calvatore, and then cleared him back into Tokyo territory. Now it's sent for Liang Kwai and a challenge and a gamble lost. Liang Kwai equalizes with a beautiful strike from the edge of the box, and it's 1 apiece.
That is the 7th goal of the year for the Chinese forward. What a beautiful weighted pass here by Tiki Taka to find Liang Kai, just ghosting past former teammate Linnea Nessie, and slides that past Josh Berger for number 7 on the year.
Yeah, with a well-timed run as well, just able to find their way through the gap and picked it beautifully. Good synchronization there between Taka and Kwai. Of course, this unit has just been together for so long, but it's really no surprise that we're able to reduce in this way. Is Taka again trying to find a ball, but cleared away by Nessie. Soderberg will hoist it back deep into Hollywood territory and force a regroup. Calvatore, it's quickly over. Ricky Bobby not outside, and Mike Rupp has to get back to deflect that one out for a corner. It's Gerard to take it, and Rupp just heads it clear. Out of danger. They look to try and find another opening. Now Vercetti. Oh, didn't really develop there. Tried to get Rice free, couldn't do so. Now another counter-attack launched here by Hollywood with Taka. Inside for Kwai. Blocked by Nessie, and again. Attack flows the other way. Tries to find Rise, but that time's back. Jarrow got the head to it. Neska now to Bobby. Bobby, they try the long ball again. This time Taka's on the receiving end. Goes back to Kwai. They go for 1-2-1, and Kwai gets a double. Bottom corner finesse. And that's a huge goal for Hollywood. A second away goal that gives them the lead in this leg.
What a finessed ball by Liang Kai here. You're going to see this bend around a couple of defenders, actually. Past Rupp and past Berger. Bobby was there for the tap-in if needed, but didn't need to happen. Kwai put that exactly where he wanted to.
Yeah, just picked the gap right between Rupp and Hogg, and it ended up just falling away from Berger. Couldn't swallow that one, and ends up being a huge goal for Hollywood. Shedding now out to Albershon to Shea. They just need to try and find another attack here. It doesn't seem like they've been able to develop. They got their one goal out of a set piece. It did look like they had another opportunity, but I feel like it's been the only opportunity they've had so far. Just need to look to try and find another.
Still early on in this match, though, Tokyo have looked like they have kind of eased back from their early aggression. Unfortunately, Hollywood seemed all too eager, but to pounce on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things about Hollywood. They're a team that you need to try and go for the throat on, but they try another one, and Bobby puts one through, got the head to it, and put one right past Berger again. It's 3-1.
That is the 6'10" or 11 Ricky Bobby. I'm not quite sure. The Gambian, I want to say Gambian, might be Zambian forward. Ninth goal of the season for him, and a assist on top of the brace for Liang Kai. Absolutely brilliant first half from the Chinese forward.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really put a foot wrong thus far, to be honest. Been really the leader thus far for Hollywood in attack, and now he has to try and defend here against Lyoness, but that one ends up being sent back to Vercetti. Try to get Soderberg, but was intercepted there by Gerald Gerrard, and again, Hollywood try and lead a counter with Taka. Goes back to Rashford, finds Taka again, one-on-one, and it's 4-1. Tiki Taka goes back to Rashford to say, put me through, and it's just sent through. And it was a beautiful torpedo bomb, really, from Rashford that gets him a fourth goal in this match.
Yeah, it's split wide open for Hollywood here. They started 1-0 down and have since scored 4 without looking back. It's looking pretty awkward here for Tokyo. Even as they advance into their second leg, Hollywood with 4 away goals.
Yeah, I mean, it means you'd have to pretty much score 4 yourself as well, and that can be a very tall task against this side, though whatever you can make up now will be very crucial going forward. But here goes Taka again, just trying to basically run by Rob, and decides against it. Calvatore finds the Kwai again. Goes back, Calvatore, a shot, but just put a bit too much mustard on that one.
Hollywood with the all-out attack. Despite only having 45% possession of the ball, they have not been afraid to just go for it.
Yeah, I mean, so long as they can keep working that ball in, they can just keep doing that. As now Tokyo try and mount one for themselves. Finally, a chance at open play, but it just got cleared away there.
Couple bounces off the Hollywood defenders there who were in position this time.
Yeah, they're doing well to defend here as that time Gerrard flicks the Soderberg cross over their own line for a corner. Taken quickly by Isagi, but ends up cleared away by Costanza. Toastman out. Now to Vercetti. Isagi back in, but it's headed away by Possible and cleared.
Should be 2 minutes left of the first half here. We're not even past the first half.
Yeah, I mean, 3 minutes added on here, thanks to the 5 goals being scored. just need to try and find a little bit extra here, Tokyo. Anything to try and go into that break with momentum, but a fifth for Hollywood would surely be an absolute demoralizer for them. Why? Got it back with Rashford. Decides to go to the other side through Possible. Possible back in, and a header that went wide from Tiki Taka. We'll likely see us to half time. And Hollywood 4 away goals in this first half. It has been downhill running for them whenever they've had the ball. They've been able to produce well against Josh Berger.
Yeah, you see that sheet chart there, that early goal from Tokyo, and since then it's been Hollywood the entire way through. Some chances in the middle from Tokyo, but they only have those 3 shots on target, 5 in general. They're going to need a little more if they hope to catch up.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's all you really need. But hopefully they can produce more of the same in the second half here.
Yeah, I don't think there's any changes coming from either side here, so it's just going to be straight into that second half. It's going to be both teams hacking it out with their starting lineups and just hoping that, Tokyo is going to be hoping they can right the ship in the second half. And Hollywood will be likely looking for more of the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, Hollywood only do have a one main sub in Hunter Jones, and I guess it just didn't really feel a need to opt to run them in this scenario here, especially being up so much. I mean, 3-goal lead can easily be turned around here, but it is definitely a case of probably don't need to risk anything and just stick with what we have.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Hollywood sits back on their haunches here in the second half. I certainly would see a little bit of it, but Sky Rise could be through.
Yeah, but a good save by Sterling, and the centre backs were there to clear that one away.
Yeah, I think that was Spack Jarrow who made the clearance there. Sterling was all over that ball, and a really good chance by Tokyo goes to the side there.
Yeah. They just need to find anything to just, again, get something back. You know, it just feels like the morale has been sapped out of them thanks to letting up 4 goals and a half. And anything that they can do to just say, all right, we're still in this contest.
Yeah, they're playing at home, so a goal would certainly bring the Nintendo back to life.
He had an opportunity, but it just didn't find Soderberg. Was headed away by Gerrard, nested well though to get back onto it, and it sends it inside, but a good save by Sterling of a Skyrise header.
Brilliant cross by Ness there, and an even better header from Rise, but Sterling able to come up with that save point blank.
Yeah, did very well to get back for it. Now they are able to make an intercept here. Here's Hogg just darting through the defense, pretty much doing all the work himself here. Potentially finds Ness and a save. It just barely could have gone through the post there, but Sterling just able to deflect it far away enough for a corner. Here's Asagi back inside and was headed away by Bobby in another corner. That one headed clear by Putaneska. And away from danger.
So I think we are seeing Hollywood sit back just a little bit more. Not too many dangerous runs from them so far in the second half that we've seen, at least. It's been Tokyo, 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 but they're kind of playing into that Hollywood defense, it looks like.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to really find an open defender, but that's thanks to the excellent man marking that Hollywood's able to produce. As now they try and finally send a run through here. It's Dan Kwai with a chance. A Berger saves it, sending it wide for a corner.
Berger has absolutely been brilliant, trying to deny Liang Kai his hat trick. Every time Kai has had a look, Berger has made a big save.
Yeah, I mean, that again is just more a moral victory than anything else. I mean, you wouldn't want to be full of a moral cacoethus to just let him have a goal, of course, but I suppose that is just something to keep in mind as a goalkeeper. You've let up 4, you just want to try and keep yourself in this because, I mean, we do have another keeper, Dobby Rube, who might end up just challenging for that position if Berger continues to let things through.
I think Berger is the backup in this situation. Rube is the what I've seen is the Division 1 starter. We are in the cup, so it would make sense to rotate the keepers at this point.
I suppose so. Even if I do think that that may not be the wisest choice. Here's Rise, got it from Visser, and it was just simple ground attack. They finally get one through again after 73 minutes waiting. It's just Visser down the flank, Alvashon Touche, touch through, and just beautiful football. Just Visser was the only one to really take multiple touches of it. Otherwise, it was just a quick tap through, and Skyrise just is able to beat Sterling at that near post.
Absolutely fluid football there. That's the stuff you love to see. Tokyo do narrow that deficit to 2 now, looking for a third here. So it's getting closer for them.
Yeah, well, still got to try and find a little bit more. Here's Alvashon Touche's shot just a little bit too high and a little bit too wide.
Touche will likely want that opportunity back. Had a wide open look at the net. Just put it in the wrong place.
Yep. You don't want to put it in the crowd. You want to put it in the net. As here's Taka covered by Toastman. Try to get across him, but good work by Verchetti. Read it well and just headed it away to Soderberg. Soderberg finds Asagi darting through on the inside. Goes back outside. Asagi, long ball in here. Here's Yannick Visser, but just couldn't find it.
Visser is offside, unfortunately, in that play there. But good looking attack from Tokyo. They still can threaten, but with a minute left in play, we'll see if they can find a third.
Yeah, pretty much just got to join the I'm Going Deep fan club here. See how far you can get it down. Throw everything at it. Visser trying to go over the top here with Soderberg, but Costanza did well. Nets will keep it in for one final charge here. Verchetti won't have the opportunity, and Hollywood end up walking away with it 4-2 the final.
Referee calls time on the Nintendo. Unfortunate from Tokyo. I feel like they had a good answer in that second half. You look at that XG chart. Hollywood only had a few chances in that second half as opposed to Tokyo, who were kind of in control.
Yeah, though it did feel like the more solid chances did come through in that second half for Hollywood. It was just that Josh Berger finally got to play the G-Sacks and make sure that he was able to turn everything else away. As a great performance there by Liang Kwai, getting player of the match, 9.1 match rating. Exceptional work.
That is what 2 goals and an assist will do for you there. On the other side of the pitch, Skyrise with 2 goals on his own, 7.7. Nasi with a 7.2. It looks like I think she made a mistake earlier in the match, but made up for it with an assist.
Indeed. Yeah, you see also there the 8.8 for Tiki Taka for the goal and assist.
Absolutely great game from Hollywood all around, and they'll take the 2-goal lead, away goal lead to home. They have 4 away goals total, so it's going to be a challenge for Tokyo to overcome. They'll need to score 3 and win outright, or we'll see what happens.
Yeah, of course, a large amount of goals with a 2-goal lead would amount to them progressing, but not to ask for a 5-3 win.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm a big fan of Chaos in the second leg, so I'm hoping Tokyo can score 3 and force Hollywood into an awkward position themselves. But we'll see what happens.
Yep, have to wait and see here as we get prepped for match number 2, and it is a Division 1 showdown this time. Athênai taking on Cairo City.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think these two have played in the Division 1 season so far, but I don't think either side are going to be favored one way or another. Cairo are kind of floating in that mid-table. They are 4 points, I believe, 4 points off the relegation, 4 or 3 points off relegation last I remembered, and Athênai floating in that mid-table as well. Safe, but not quite safe if they go on a poor run of form.
Yeah, which is something that they would really like to avoid, especially considering the lot of success that they've had of late. And just double checking through the list here, it does seem like Cairo have not played them. Oh no, they did play them match day 5. It was about a week ago that we saw them play against each other, and just double checking the results here because they haven't been uploaded to the Shiny apps, regrettably. Of course, no updates over the holiday season, but that's the way we have to live. Looks like Athênai trying to mount something here, but just was a through ball to no one there and just falling short of Labovic. And now Franco Torres, high scoring threat, falls to the outside, and Ketchup Noodle shot goes wide.
So both teams coming out in a 4-3-3 DMY today, so it's going to be really a test of the quality of both teams. The spearheads of both attacks. For Athênai, it is Owen 44, former Golden Boot winner, two-time Golden Boot winner, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Owen 44 did score a penalty in their encounter. It was a 2-2 draw with a Franco Torres double. Do you know how big of a threat Torres can be in scoring, but right now just tries to pressure Anderson, but Anderson just decides to hoist it back into Cairo territory.
Yeah, Franco score as the other perennial striker here, and that's a save by Anderson. I thought that might have been offside, but Torres does get credit there. Corner for
Now he's run
Cairo.
well there. And crossed in and cleared away there by Henrik Lind. Difficult to beat in the air. Right, centre back combination of Henrik Lind and Darren Lockyer. Last G just tries to try that, but Didi Yoka clears away from Manos Schlemischt. Now about a quarter of the game gone. No score thus far. Noodle trying to get one for himself there, but just saved by Anderson. Nearly deflected back into the net, but was cleared out before a corner could be given by Didi Yoka. Like Cairo have had the brunt of the attacks thus far. Now with Staines, goes back to Hude with Black. Now Snooks, Pjorkas, and Jeeves trying to run up against Labovic. Gets to the inside with Noodle and a good save and hacked away by Lind. Pjorkas, however, again, just sweeping it up here. Pressured there by Gin Tonic and looked like a free kick. Give it. Just while I'm watching this, does seem like 44 is starting to huff and puff out there. Might be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, 44 could potentially be injured, which is a big problem for Athena. They don't have any replacements.
Yeah, now Flamish just shot. That one goes over the top. One of the things that happens with a lot of these top end teams is that they don't have a lot of replacements that they can go to if the player gets injured. We mentioned how Hollywood only have 12. Team do only have the 11 that they have brought to this match. We'll have to go over bot if his condition does worsen, as here's Yoka trying to run on the inside, and crossers are blocked by Arasov, and it ends up falling for Flemish. Arasov now inside for Torres. Slowly starting to infringe on Athênai's area. Now tries to find the through ball here for Jeeves. Goes back to Staines. Oh, put the sweat on that one. That was a beautiful send through and just goes on the back pass. And it ends up being Staines to convert on that pass from, I believe, Ketchup Noodle. And a huge goal in the grand scheme of things here.
That was Ash Jeeves who made the pass to Staines there. Two of Tokyo's best, well, not Tokyo, sorry, two of Cairo's best players in the defense and midfield there, connecting on that forward motion for the goal. Really well worked by Cairo.
Yeah, I did think it was Jeeves because he usually plays in that little left winger spot, but they decided to. Sorry, Noodle rather, but it was Jeeves that played up, and here's 44 now with an opportunity, and it doesn't come off his boot well. Ends up just going out for a goal kick.
Yeah, not enough salsa with that chip. Just put too much on it.
Yeah, sometimes you just give a little bit too much salsa on a chip and just ends up not being the one you want, and as Jaeger tries to send Fischer through, Fischer's shot is blocked by Arasov. Goes out for a corner. Might be the only way they're able to score a TNA off of these set pieces, thanks to 44. Ended up taking a bit of a injury for himself. Just trying to fight through the pain as it stands. Just still trying to apply pressure perhaps from the outside. Flemish closely marked there by Yoka. Eventually does find Staines as an option. They're pressing hard here, Athênai. Just looking to win that ball back, but it could be a problem if one of their players does get beaten one-on-one, but that's a one-on-one victory there for Gintonic. Gintonic trying to look to his inside here. Cuts over to the right flank, sends it inside, but a good save there by almost the Heretic. Now free kick here. Yoka indirect, tries to go to the outside, but it's saved.
I think that was Lind on the header, and the Heretic able to get the better of the massive defender.
Yeah, Lind playing up here for those set pieces, of course, as he tries to whip the ball across there. Now for Legmanen. Back to Lockyer. Probably trying to regain their shape here as here's Labovic sent through, and it just ended up being sent, well, wide there, and a 1-0 lead that Cairo holds going into the break.
Couple chances still begging for Athênai there. They had the opportunities. They just couldn't make the most of it on the other side of the pitch. Cairo have had their chances as well, and they found back in net once, but they've been working hard.
Yeah, I mean, you can't fault either of the teams on their effort here. They've been really trying to fight tooth and nail in this one, but at the end of the day, it's been mostly with Cairo, 62% possession. As such, they were able to capitalize with that goal.
Absolutely. 62% possession, like you mentioned, for Cairo is massive. We'll see if Athênai could come back in the second half and rectify that.
Yeah, that's what one can hope for. I mean, you have to think that with whatever changes Cairo can make, of course, Athênai can't really make changes. They only have their 11, so whoever they decide to go with here, they opt for one change. Willie Normus being brought on here for Felix Arasov. Of course, Jacob Rizzo looks like he's going to be rested for this one. Athênai look to try and get up on the bump early, and the substitute is immediately forced to make an impact 20 seconds in as he forces that ball over for a corner. Yoko to whip it in and cleared away there by Hude. Again, Athênai there to try and scrap once more, and Flemish just ends up being the one to force that one back through for a corner. Yoko again, and that time headed clear by Flemish. And they have Torres this time to pick up the pieces.
The interesting free kick here for Athênai. Gintonic scored one or two.
Pure direct, and it ends up being almost a Heretic who barely forces that one. Well there to get to the ball after they cleared the wall and just able to force a corner kick here.
Gintonic put that in a strange place. I thought it was going on to the other side.
Yeah, just put a lot of English on it. There's Lind here trying to cut against Ketchup Noodle. Probably not the best of matchups. Just decides to let Gintonic try and work that right flank. Goes back to him through Labovic at 44. Tries a turning shot, but good work by Eilish Schnooks to just send that one clear. And again, Athênai can't get through that Cairo defense.
Which is a little ironic, I think. It's normally the other way around. Athênai normally have the iron solid defense, just Gintonic with a chance there.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of been on Elmas the Heretic as well, who's very much stepped up in this goalkeeping role. To be able to find some good saves and has kind of bailed Cairo out of a few defensive lapses, but still been able to hold serve thus far.
The Heretic, a bit of a cup wizard. He had a really good cup run last year, I believe. Made some really big saves.
Yeah, perhaps it's just tapping into that once again as Lavic barely saves that one from going over for a goal kick, and back. Decide to go to the other flank here. Yoko will try to get in a run here. 44, a long shot, but ends up being not held by Heretic and goes over for another corner kick here. Athênai just need to find one of these set pieces, and if one can be pulled off, not on that occasion. And it's Torres again who does well to make sure he gets some receiving into the clearance and doesn't allow any more attacking opportunities to mount here for Athênai, but here they go again. 70th minute here. Joker in, and at that time it's Lind who barely sent it wide. Probably would have been in the glove of Heretic had it been on target.
Little dangerous ball at the back play from Cairo there. 44 sniffing. Loves to poach those chances.
Yeah, he would absolutely adore being able to just sweep up a goal and get an equalizer here. Or perhaps just get one from open play here as Joker is sent through on the run, finds Labovic, but good work by the midfielder G's to get back and blocks that one out. Out of Fisher, they try and send it through the corridor this time. Tonic finds Joker and Heretic barely just able to turn that one through.
Gets
corner again.
Both sets of fingers to that and just flicks that over the bar. A really good chance for DD Yorker there.
Torres did well to make a challenge, but only gives up a throw-in. Nothing comes of it here, and Cairo barely holding on to this one-goal lead thus far. It feels like Athênai have had the wind at their backs with this one, but they haven't been able to procure that equalizer they've desperately wanted. Here's Staines now, sending through Torres. A good shot there, but Yannick Anderson got the gloves to it and forces a Cairo corner. That one cleared away by Lind, and Labovic ends up being a receiving end. Here's a quick counterattack. But look how all the Cairo defenders just swarming back. Pretty much just giving nothing of a box there, and trying to get it in there felt like a fruitless task. Yoko once more. Tries to find 44 here. That shot! Oh, and another save there. Oh, almost a Heretic will have to get time and a half for this one.
Yeah, no, his entire team owes him dinner. Probably a surf and turf sort of dinner as well. Athênai on 2.0 XG, no goals to show for it.
Yeah, but that again, another save.
That's free kick. It is offside.
The frustration starting to show here as Jaeger has been given a yellow. Flemish Shaw, that was a beautiful chance to make it two, but nothing doing there.
The nice defense able to clean that up.
They can just get their attack rolling here. An equalizer to make it 1-1. Potentially have a chance. Rather than having to full on win in their next tie as Joker now trying to work against Normus, trying to get it in there, but Huda sends it clear. Lind has to get it back out to the left flank with Joker. Now Fisher. Turning pass there. Fisher back inside, but again cleared away there by Snorks. And it seems like we're just going to hold out. Unless there's something they can get in these final 15 seconds. Here's Fisher. Joker. Can they get it into the area? They can, but it's Ask Jeeves to it first. And almost a Heretic will send it out.
One last shot? Nope, that should be it.
Cairo escapes perhaps, but they'll take the victory when they can. A 1-0 win. A huge one for them, especially going on the road to Greece. And we'll head back across the Mediterranean for the second leg with the trump card of that away goal from Wesley Staines.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a massive result for Cairo. A big away win, but notably that 2.2 XG from Athênai and no goals. Let's look at Heretic there. A 9.1 from Elvis to a Heretic. Take a bow.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a 9.1 match rating earlier. The best player of the match, and I think Helmuth absolutely deserved that one.
Yeah, no.
His skin.
The last player who got a 9.1 scored 2 goals and had an assist. And So Elmis the Heretic preventing 2 goals equal to that 9.1. Athênai didn't play poorly. They just couldn't find the back of the net today. Could not beat Elmis the Heretic. Sometimes that happens. You run into a hot keeper.
Yep. I mean, I could think of some real life parallels, but in a simulation league, I mean, I don't think I've really seen anything like that. That was beautiful work there to make sure that they kept themselves not only within the contest, but did well to get them through. As we now see the third match on the card, 3 of 4. It is a Division 2 versus Division 1 clash. Seoul Mythic taking on Catalunya.
Yeah, this is a kind of David versus Goliath match here. The overwhelming favorites in this match are Catalunya, who currently sit second in the league, a point off from that league lead. And on the other side of the pitch is Seoul, who sit in D2, currently fighting for promotion. Yes, so we'll see if they can come up to the challenge that is Catalunya.
Yeah, it'll be a very difficult challenge here, especially for a lot of the new players that they brought in. They recently acquired some rugby league converts, Liam Ryan and Jack Carl, to play for them. And it's one of the few times that we get to see Jack Carl, so I'll be interested to see if he can make an impact, especially given him having to match up against some very strong play here. If it's one-on-one with Hugh Yarvin, who just beats him for pace. Okamoto finds Mojo rising, but his shot too far rising and goes out for a goal kick.
So Seoul are playing in a rather interesting 4-2-1-1-2. I want to say they have 2 wingbacks on top of their 2 fullbacks, providing them the width. Then a central midfielder and attacking midfielder, as Okamoto is. Oh wow, off the bar.
Oh yeah, he tried to chip him there, but just put a little bit too much on the chip. But escape with a little bit of that one as we try and find a counter attack there with JJ Okocha, but didn't materialize.
Neuer able to tip that into the bar, I think. So a big save from him. The rookie keeper playing in the cup and as of late in Division 2 as well.
Yeah, they've done well with that as Muller waits, finds Paul, and now Okocha does have an inside ball. Barocco Aloisi and a good save there by Gunnarsson. He ended up doing well there to save that one. And inside ball and just cleared away there by Vuiki Moyatu.
Seoul are at home today, so it would make sense for them to come out in a more defensive sort of formation and hold on to whatever lead that they can find, or just prevent as many away goals as possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, that does also come with the territory of being able to get a lead in the first place. Whatever you can do to stop the away goals from flowing, I think, is what they should be looking to do. As here's Vince try to find an inside ball here. Järvinen went down, no penalty given. They maintain the possession anyway.
I think that was a big tackle by Gary Carl there.
Yeah, Jack Carl, that is.
Jack Carl, apologies.
New player, it's understandable. But still, they maintain the pressure there. Muller again just forcing Järvinen wide and ends up just shutting them out. Seoul really fighting tooth and nail here in this one.
So a team known to love to get stuck in. We'll see if it comes back to bite them this match.
Yeah, well, I mean, just so long as they keep on fighting, I feel like they can kind of try and just hold their own here.
Yeah, well, that was a big chance from Okamoto earlier there, and the massive save by Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, I have double checked here. Jack Carl thus far in the documented games has only made 1 appearance for Seoul Mythic in Division 2. So not a frequent player that we've seen participate, but here's McFlopface, found an open lane and goes back inside. It's Mojo rising, and just about 20 minutes in, Catalunya finally break through when they find a man in the open flank.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing here from Seoul. Their defense just kind of breaks down. Too many men in the box, not enough defenders, and they all sort of lost their man trying to slide and pick up a man there. Mojo Rising able to find his way free and tap that past Manuel Neuer.
Yeah, I mean, he just ended up in a bit of a clear spot and never really had an issue there with being able to put one past the keeper. It was more just hit the open net. As the flop face again, closely marked there by Carl, goes back to Järvinen. Paul tries to get an intercept there on the pass of Busquets, but couldn't do so. Now they find it again, McFlop face, and Neuer has to make a tough save on what was an offside play.
Great save by Neuer, though. It's good to know that he can do it, even though it didn't quite count there. Still pretty looking nonetheless.
Yeah, so long as you can make it look nice, then I suppose it's just something to build upon for later on down the line. Especially if you show them that trick and then can evolve upon it. Vin's here, trying to work against a Kocha. Got it back. They try and pick on the rookie here, Liam Ryan. Okamoto back inside, and they find it. It's Järvinen on the header, and it was a beautiful aerial challenge that no one could answer.
Järvinen, who struggled on the ball today, absolutely excellent off the ball, loses his man, and just so clean in the open for that header.
I mean, it's very tough to find a lot of players in Seoul Mythic that can challenge VA. Usually it's Cole Mertz that has to get up there, and he couldn't do so on that occasion. So here's a free kick here by Juliusson that nearly found the top corner, but was answered well there by Neuer.
Yeah, Neuer kind of lined himself up with that. All he had to go was up and catch that ball. So a really good opportunity for Catalunya, and nonetheless a big save by Manuel Neuer.
There's Dogwood Maple sweeping onto a ball there that just fell loose for him, and now we'll try and get a third goal by the time the break is up for them. Järvinen to Moriarty, his run through, an easy save there by Neuer. Catalunya again mounting a tough attack, and a quick look to counter here. It ends up falling for Danny Paul. Can he outpace the defenders? No, so he has to take the shot, and never really trouble Gunnarsson.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't really have much choice there, Danny Paul, but a pretty poor shot selection, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like it was kind of forced into it with how quickly the defenders were getting back to swarm him. He just didn't really have an option to go back forward as Kamoyatu. There's a save by Neuer, but it was only a parry, and Holmberg just has to win it back from Rising, keeps it from going over the goal line, and just sends it clear. And that will take us to halftime.
Yeah, a deserved 2-0 lead from Catalunya here. They have been the better of two teams. You can see on the XG chart there. So only really having those that chance early and that chance late. Otherwise, kind of didn't really do too much in that the first half here.
Yeah, 10 shots, 6 on target, but it would have been Catalunya. You mentioned how Seoul are the one team that usually gets stuck in there. 9 fouls by Catalunya. No cards given out yet, though, so we'll have to wait and see whether the book is brought out on this one. But again, it's just felt like Catalunya have had most of the chances. Seoul's finishing not been great, but at least they've been troubling the keeper. They haven't had a shot off target.
Of the 2 shots they have had, it's been good for them. So agreed. They just need to take a few more.
Yeah, just as long as they can find those chances. No changes for either side here, so
Both teams just opting to keep it as it is and let what comes. Though Seoul going to be looking for a couple as Catalunya are up 2 away goals. At the very least, 1 home goal for Seoul will make the job easier when they go to Catalunya.
yeah, they just need to try and find anything to make it easier to potentially pull off a Kaapstad, though it's a very difficult Kaapstad to do as McFlop faces shot there. Just ended up over the bar.
Something that we've seen from Catalunya this year so far is their reluctancy to let off on that gas pedal. They have a tendency to just kind of keep going and going and going. We'll see if they can find a couple more this match.
Yeah, well, they've always looked threatening whenever they've been able to mount that attack, and it never really felt like there's been any empty threats from Catalunya. They just always seem to have a potential lethality about their attack. That time it just kind of died down, so perhaps there's just a bit of commentator's curse there seeping in. There's a good intercept though by Human. And now I'll try and launch the attack here. Muller finds Danny Paul. This time he's got a bit more free reign here. Oh, it looked like there was an off a ball foul there. And yes, there was. So they'll give a free kick instead of a corner. That's interesting. How does Aloisi capitalize on the opportunity? Oh, he just hits the top of the net.
Skims the top of the bar. Unfortunate for Aloisi. That was a really good looking chance for Seoul. I thought initially that might have been a penalty. What a strange lunge by Human.
Yeah, I mean, it was just an off the ball foul, really, I thought, that ended up resulting in the foul being given. Referee just opted not to play the advantage of the corner, instead play the free kick, and perhaps Seoul will lament that, but can't cry over the spilt milk now. They just got to find another opportunity to attack here, but before they attack, first they must defend. Come on, R2, working against Carl, back inside Yarvinen, and just put a bit too much underneath it.
Yarvin, I believe, the right back, playing so aggressive in matches so far this year. Known to cut inside and take the odd shot and score the odd goal.
Would it be fair to call him a cut inside man?
No, because that's more of a forward role.
Fair enough, as here's Paul trying to be that forward roll. Oh, tries a long shot.
That was close. Again, just a little bit off for him.
Now it just feels like Catalunya can more rest on their laurels here. They've shown that they are the stronger side here, especially away from home. Looks like the away sides have always been the stronger ones for this occasion. Catalunya are up. We saw earlier Cairo got a victory, and also Hollywood got a massive win over Tokyo. And here they go again. It's Maple this time. Maple with another one, and make it 3-0 for Catalunya.
12th goal of the season for Doug Maple. He's been a massive reason why Catalunya have been successful this year moving forward. They have found themselves a premier striker up top there, and that is the 12th goal for Dogwood Maple all around.
Yeah, more like Dozenwood Maple. Ends up putting Catalunya in the driver's seat going into what could be a potential semi-final. Their highest finish up last time, but here's a Kocha. Now an opportunity for him, and a good save there by Gunnarsson, and Vins aside to try and give a crowd a souvenir.
Gunnarsson closed that down so quick that Okocha really didn't have any other options but to stuff that into her gloves.
Yep. Now Okamoto, an opportunity for Komayatu. Neuer makes a parry, makes a second one of a rebound from the flop face.
And if I'm Memo Neuer, I am screaming at my defense right now. Where are you? He's been absolutely on top of it this match so far, but his defense has kind of let him down, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. As that clearance, I'll just let the clock run out on it. Catalunya, with some poor performances from Seoul, ends up taking a 3-0 lead that they will carry going into the second leg.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult job for Seoul to do here. They have to score 4 away goals to win in Catalunya, and that would be the most any team has scored against Catalunya this year so far.
Yeah, it's such a difficult ask for them, of course. I mean, they could just try and go to extra time there if they do end up getting a 3-0 victory away from home, but that's such a difficult ask for them. Player of the match, they're going to Floppy McFlopface with the 2 assists, and definitely created a few chances as well and did well in the tackling game. You know, just everyone had to work so hard on the side of Seoul, but man, questions have to be asked here. Where do they really want to go from here on where they need to be? And
I wonder if they chuck. I wonder if they chuck the table at the at Catalunya next match. Just go all out attack. Sort of feels like what they need to do.
Yeah, perhaps they can employ the battering ram that other parts have done, as we now have our final match. It's the recently promoted Kaapstad against the ones that had to save themselves, União Sao Paulo.
Yeah, this speaking of battered, unfortunately, Kaapstad have been on the the receiving end of a few of those this year, they have a negative 20 goal difference in Division 1 so far through, I think it's 5 or 6 games.
Yeah. A minus 13 after 4, which is horrifying.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for them. On the other side of the pitch, it's Union Sao Paulo, who have done a lot better than a lot of people we could give them credit for. They look to be pretty well set in that mid-table there this year, though they are competing in that relegation battle as well.
Yeah, in fact, these are both the two sides that are in the relegation zone as of match day 6. Sao Paulo are only in there by a goal, though, so not as if they are really in that much danger, though it is still a looming threat for them as it was in the previous season. As that will be a corner there, one thanks to the cross attempt by Sam Siege. Newman for one to take it. Tries to whip it inside there, but it's tipped away by Dexter Hall. Once more with feeling, but that time it's cleared away by Gordon. Sarah, what do you have for the tactics that these teams are running?
So I have Kaapstad in a asymmetric 4-2-3-1 narrow. They've got those 3 attacking midfielders and the 1 defensive midfielder with a central midfielder on top of that. Asymmetric because they're running a right side inverted wing back instead of a normal fullback. On the other side of the pitch, Sao Paulo are playing in a asymmetric 5-1-4, I would say. They have that left back on the wing back sort of role, and only 1 central midfielder. They have 1 attacking midfielder, 1 left winger, and 2 forwards. So a really aggressive formation from them today.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you have to be aggressive if you want to try and win here, as looks like Kaapstad trying to find something. Larson, there by Inclan. Hulkavodo goes back to Valor. Trying to be a quick challenge there from one of the Sao Paulo players there, but it's Coffee Biscuit. But couldn't end up getting on it. There's Ansha. One of their recent acquisitions in the draft day is sending through Newman. Now Coffee Biscuit, an opportunity against Kamavinga, but gets a block. Just forced down to the flank. Didn't really have any looks on net. Has to go back to Siege. Now in Clan. Back to Fred, and now a Siege again. Trying to work here against Dog, and that one is sent out for a throw-in. Barely passed on that side of a corner flag.
Yeah, I thought it might have been a corner there. That is going to be a corner there. That takes a bounce off. I think it was Doug again.
Yeah, so they're just able to force the issue here. Sao Paulo being able to whip one in there, but that time it is sent back out. Lexington goes back to Inclan. This looks like Sao Paulo will opt to reset. It's down the flank, back inside Ansha, goes back inside the Fesenvit. Now a shot there, but Ibrimovic was blocked. Doug ends up getting the credit for that one. Siege against Hulkavodo. Siege just eventually gets the kick to it, but was sent back out there by Norris. Ibrimovic now for Newman, a shot, but Hall does well to turn it aside. And a corner kick.
Yeah, and an unfortunate turnover there by Hulkavodo deep in the defensive zone for Kaapstad, and that is not what they need if they want to get a good result from this match.
Here's Fred trying to whip it back in there, but headed away there by Norris. Claire Norris, new acquisition for them this season for Kaapstad, as Nagatoro will send it back in and go back to Inclan, trying to find Kevin Zimmer. Now again, Sao Paulo look to attack down the left side. Biscuit out to Fesenvitz. Up against Nagatoro. Get back around and just bounces off Nagatoro Maradona, and another corner for Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo really playing for these set pieces. So far, hasn't quite paid off for them.
Yeah, and there's one that doesn't pay off either, as Newman ended up just being offside after taking the corner kick and just has to leave it be, and he rolls out for a goal kick.
Yeah, mistimed the run there, did Newman. We'll see if they can get it right. They've looked dangerous so far.
I don't
Sao
necessarily
Paulo.
call that a mistimed run, but also just a mistimed pass there. Can give it, you have to place so far forward on a corner kick and just couldn't get himself back on side in time. But Newman again with another corner kick finds Fred on the outside, but didn't trouble Hall whatsoever. Got to present themselves for another attacking opportunity here. Here's Siege finds Newman, another header that goes over the top.
Kaapstad under siege so far this match, but it seems like they're quite comfortable with it. They're seeming to be inviting that sort of pressure and able to deal with it.
Yeah, they've done well with it so far as he has Larson back to Norris. He ends up winning a free kick for his trouble. Hulkavodo now back out. Tries to find Nagatoro, but this goes back to Yanis Kraustas. Kraustas beats Vesovitz one-on-one and then just goes back to Nagatoro Maradona. Probably should have tried to use the space a little bit more. Eventually they'll try and go through the corridor there, and Gordon's shot is saved by Adam Rage. Adam Rage has been not very involved thus far, but he's been pretty good for the cup matches that he's been involved in.
Well, he's lucky that no one from Kaapstad was crashing on that because he made a mess out of that save.
Yeah, it didn't seem like anyone really was as that time. That's another near mishap by a goalkeeper on the other side as Hall just give it back to Newman, but Newman pretty much just decided to play pong with it, and Hall has the power to hold. He does so varying once more on that crossing attempt.
Dexter Hall has been very busy this half so far, only 30 minutes on. Wow, big tackle by Improvic.
Yeah, it didn't even pay off. The ball just fell right back for Zimmer. And now they'll try and work it again through the center of the park. Gordon finds Zimmer and eventually go left flank with Doug. Doug closely followed there by Siege, and Doug was also caught out in a bit of an offside trap.
It's really interesting to me to see Sao Paulo playing that offside trap. You don't typically see it with an asymmetric defense, given the offside trap requires you to pretty well align. And asymmetric formations are kind of counterintuitive to that logic.
Yeah, well, I suppose I'm not sure how exactly they're running that asymmetric defense, but I mean, it's so long as the back line stays in symmetry, then I think it should usually be all right. And I see a lot of teams trying to run here. Here's Archer. Archer inside for Newman, and that again just found the top of the bar. Again, they just aren't able to direct those headers down and into the net here. It's not been able to fall their way as Zimmer ends up falling on that corner. But look at Lexington working back hard, and Mayhem finds Newman in the one-on-one. Try to go near post, and once again, Sao Paulo will have Jeff Newman try and kick it in. And on this occasion, it is cleared away by Abdullah Kamavinga. Biscuit on the receiving end, now trying to regather things. Look at how many defenders get into the box vest. I think I counted 8 defenders in the box on that occasion. Kaapstad are not letting them through here. At that time, he tries to find Coffee Biscuit, and again the header, and again it's over the bar.
Sao Paulo have come close several times this half. I feel like they're gonna get it right eventually, given that many chances. Oh wow!
Well, that's not getting things right there. Dorian Lexington brings down a Kaapstad player. He was Jakob Larson, and he'll try and convert on his own foul, and does. Jakob Larson puts Kaapstad up. A huge momentum swing of his match.
Third goal of the season for Larson, who has been Kaapstad's best player so far in that midfield, if I'm not mistaken, and just drills that into the corner there. Adam Rage really no chance, and yeah, a costly tackle by Dorian Lexington there. He's kind of lucky he didn't get a card for it too. It looked like he kind of lunged with one foot.
Yeah, and now it just sends all of them back to square one here. Arguably square zero, as again it's another corner.
So we'll see if this affects Sao Paulo's morale at all. They've been pushing so hard, and to have that late goal go in against them on that pen, it kind of takes the wind out of the sail.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the XG chart here. I don't usually like to bring it up during my broadcast, but this time I feel like I have to. It was all Sao Paulo. I'm looking at about 1.17 before they gave up a penalty. And while that does make things look a lot closer than it is, it definitely feels like they've not had their opportunities convert into anything.
Yeah, no, I think that if Sao Paulo keep it up, they'll be fine. They're gonna find the back of the net eventually. I think for Kaapstad is whether or not that defense can hold. I don't think there are any changes coming in for either team, so we'll be jumping straight into the second half here.
Yep, we remain with the same 11.
We will see if Sao Paulo find a way through that defense or if Kaapstad can continue to hold. It's going to need another monstrous half from Dexter Hall there.
Yeah, and I don't really blame Sao Paulo for just deciding to stick what they believe is their strongest 11. As again they try another header, and again it goes over the top that time from Ansha. Like every time I watch this team just attempt those opportunities, it just ends up falling the same way as Fesenvitz. Oh, well that time he just tries the long shot and doesn't go that way again.
Yeah, I think if I'm Lobster I'm looking at this game and scheduling heading training for the entirety of next week.
Yeah, I mean, not an unreasonable thing to do here. They end up catching a Sao Paulo player offside, thanks to the flag going up. So now Kaapstad, perhaps with the change of ends, they'll have a little bit more opportunity. As Inclan misses a tackle there. Larson goes back to Holcavodo. They try and work it through that triangle, or try to be deflected there by Fred, and Rage just ended up parrying it, and a clearance bounced off Zimmer and nearly ended up being disastrous, but thankfully just a goal kick.
I want to. Oh, Jakob Larson taken out for another foul there by England. That's a yellow card for sure. No, that's a straight red.
Wow. And Sao Paulo go down to 10 thanks to Nicholas Inclan. Perhaps just losing his head a bit there. Jakob Larson goes down yet once more. And now they're going to have to play without their midfielder. And that tap in nearly fell through once more, but that time Adam Rage did well to cover his near post.
Yeah, there's a lot of this match left, and we're going to see if this swings in Kaapstad's favor now. Or if Kaapstad will be comfortable just sitting on the lead and kind of seeing this match out.
Well, I mean, with Sao Paulo down to 10, they've lost one of their primary attacking threats, perhaps an Inclan.
Yeah, this is one of those games
maybe
where
sporting one.
this one of those games where the assistant manager is screaming, "We're being overrun in the midfield." Unfortunately, there's very little that that Sao Paulo are going to be able to do about it at this point.
Yeah, especially losing one of their midfielders. Now Sao Paulo have to try and score a man down, and they nearly have an opportunity, and they do! Oh, Camavinga couldn't claim it, and Coffee Biscuit dunks it in right past Hall, and suddenly Kaapstad find themselves on the receiving end of a away goal. A man down, Sao Paulo equalize.
Yeah, really a mess here by Camavinga, and Coffee Biscuit just pounces on it. Dexter Hall not at all ready for that. You normally see that as a keeper and you write it off. Camavinga had the ball and then all of a sudden didn't. And yeah, there's not much you can do about that as a goalkeeper. That's kind of your defense giving them a freebie.
Yeah, and credit to Kofi Archer as well from a tough kick, basically just inside halfway. Ended up having to try and find Coffee Biscuit, and did well to do so.
So after going down to 10, they find the equalizer to Sao Paulo, and they're actually ahead on away goals.
Yeah, well, they do still have the other end where they have to defend Brazil. The Sesovitz again wins himself another corner. They're in double digits now, no doubt. Human again going to have to try and take this one, and decides to go wide, but just heads it clear, and Zimmer's able to sweep it up before Lexington can. We're inside for Gordon. Back out to Zimmer. Gordon once again, now Larson. Back inside Gordon, taps through for Zimmer, and Vesenovitz will just play it back for Rage, and Rage will clear.
Well, Zimmer played that for Vesenovitz. Unfortunately, Vesenovitz plays for Sao Paulo.
Yeah, one of those things. Can't really say, well, could call it red-green color blindness, perhaps, but that's the way it goes with these teams. Of course, do have the new jerseys on the graphics. I'm very happy with candidates for making those. They look very nice. As again, another corner deflection.
I think I've said it a few times that Sao Paulo's jerseys are the ones I find that clash with other teams probably the most. That red and black being pretty common throughout the league, as it would turn out. By no fault of their own, of course.
Of course. I'm trying to remind myself of a time where teams have gone down and ended up scoring more as a result. They weren't able to produce anything in that first hour with 11, but once they lost in clan, it was a few minutes following, but they ended up scoring with 10. So perhaps they might need to think about going to 8 or 9 next time. If that's what they can do, is here's Ansha, good block there by Kraus. That's getting back there and stops the corner that time as well.
You'll remember the first half, though. Sao Paulo kept pushing. They were close a couple of times. The missed time headers really the story of that first half for them. And it doesn't surprise me that they're able to equalize even though they're a man down. We'll see if they can hold on or if they surrender a lead late on in this match, or if they can find a late lead.
I mean, one can probably only hope there that they might be only equalizing, but Biscuit again on the near post, and it might just hit the woodwork there. May have been saved by Hall. Didn't quite got to get an angle out of Vesenovitz. Oh, Newman, a shot blocked by Norris. Archer back into Vesenovitz. There, Ibrahimovic! Oh, there it is! And with less than 10 minutes to go in regulation, Sao Paulo have suddenly found themselves in front.
An absolute breakdown in play here for Kaapstad. The ball goes everywhere. And it's finally Vesenovitz who's able to connect with Ibrahimovic. That really should be an own goal from Camavinga. That goes off his foot and past Dexter Hall. But Ibrahimovic credited with the goal as that came off his head last, I believe.
Yeah, I think because it was still a shot on target that even though it very likely would have been saved by Hall thanks to the Camavinga deflection, it ended up going in, but it wasn't directed in by Camavinga, so I think the scorers have that right on that occasion. Now Sao Paulo have to hold with 10, but they were holding on thus far, so perhaps they can think of that later on as some motivation. As here's Biscuit again. Goes back to Archer. We'll have Vesenovitz. Vesenovitz has plenty of space on that left side. Decides to utilize most of it. Just goes back to Archer now. Back into the side of Vesenovitz. A high clearance. Cross rather. But Camavinga with a clearance. And now a counterattack being mounted here. Larson tries to find Nagatoro. Nagatoro turns back around. Goes out to Valor. Valor with Newman pushing. Cleared out McFred. And Biscuit is the first one to it as well. Charles Camavinga, bit of a 2-on-2, has defenders closing, but decided to take the corner instead.
Kaapstad back on the back foot here. They had a bit of a swing after the sending off, but they're certainly back to the defense.
We have to go again here. Trying to hold out, but that time David Doug does well to head it clear. He's defended well thus far. Get another corner one there, that time off of Valor. Newman with another corner, and that time it was tipped over by Hall. So getting a header on target on that occasion. Now we re-rack. Newman that time inside, and again it's tipped behind by Hall.
I think Doug was there to make the clearance on the line on the far post, otherwise that may have dribbled in.
And finally, they ended up getting clear of that inside the area defending. They've held out well on it thus far. That's the open play where Sao Paulo have been able to capitalize. Vesenovitz ends up being deflected away by Nagatoro and ends up just being Siege who has to scrap up. Fred now back inside here. Found in Brimovic. May have been fouled, nothing given. Now Kaapstad on the counter attack. Just 2 minutes of play in regulation. No signal from the board yet. In Brimovic tries to send through Archer. Archer should have a one-on-one, but it's a tough one-on-one. And instead, he just decides to use Kaapstad, and again, it goes over for another goal kick. Sorry, another corner, excuse me. And that time, it is over the top.
I can't blame Sao Paulo for liking their corners. They are friggin' good at headers. You just they win them. They just can't get them on target. So just a little more dialing in there, and I think it could be a lethal strategy for them.
Yeah, that's one of the times where I do ask how and not how many. But Larson now trying to find an equalizer. Great block, Vesemets. But it fell back for Larson. Now Hulkavodo. Valor decides to go left side with Doug. Back inside Hulkavodo. Hulkavodo, oh, bad touch there. And ends up falling through for Biscuit. Biscuit might just try and get as much territory as they can. Going back to Vesemets. They send them in forward. Sao Paulo end up winning a throw in here thanks to the Nagatoro tackle. And that's more time that's being burnt off the clock here. Sent quickly back in so they can burn more. Newman, long cross in. Didn't go over the line and headed clear by Doug, and Siege just walked it over himself. That felt like a huge mistake there. It might just open the door a little bit for Kaapstad. Doug out now for Gordon, excuse me. Doug will now clear it, trying to find Zimmer. End up falling for Larson. Zimmer to Nagatoro. They might have an opportunity here, but the through ball isn't timed. Adam Rage will clear it back to Lexington. And Sao Paulo, man down, take the victory 2-1.
From the jaws of defeat, Sao Paulo have emerged with a leg one victory, 2 away goals after the sending off to really cement their lead. They have only a 1-goal lead, but those 2 away goals, like I mentioned, going to be a big difference maker for them.
Yeah, that's a huge win as well. It's been a story of away wins in this match, and have to credit both sides there. They both had to really fight hard there. I think player of the match will go to Jeff Newman, who probably took more corners than he ever thought he'd dream of.
I'm sure that they practiced really intensely in training.
Yeah, I think he took 16 corners in all, which is insane. How does a man still have a left leg?
Well, it's a good thing that our physios at the Simulation Soccer League are among the best in the world, able to cure most injuries with the wave of a wand.
Yeah, one of the beautiful things that we've seen from them. As that will do us for all the matches. And you see, it was all 4 away wins. 1, 2, 3, and 4 goals. Oh, it's beautiful patterning. Fortunately, we don't get Fibonacci on the other side, so I blame Seoul.
Well, quite beautiful. I agree. It's a very, very aesthetically pleasing pattern. I think for the away teams, it'll be pleasing results for them as well. A win is always welcome. On the other side of the pitch, though, a lot of work to be done in leg 2 for our home team today. They'll be visiting away, and they're going to have their jobs cut out for them.
Yeah, that's Athênai and Kaapstad only have to win by 2 to win outright, and Athênai probably be easier of a bunch, given that even just a 1-0 win would force extra time. But Seoul and Tokyo are really staring down the barrel. Seoul having to get 3, and Tokyo having to get at least 2. Of course, thanks to them not scoring at all. Any margin greater than 3-0 would pretty much mean that Seoul end up going through to produce a massive cup set, but such a difficult task for any of these sides to try and get through.
Yeah, no, here Catalunya are going to be the Giants blocking Seoul's way, and well, if there's David versus the Glass today, the Glass certainly won out.
Indeed, and well, I think that will do us here for leg 1 of the cup. Join us soon. We do have leg 2 coming up this week for TVC and the Simulation Soccer League. Actually, we don't have it coming up this week. My mistake.
Should be next week, I think.
Yeah. Okay, next week. Not this week, next week. There will still be a very exciting 4 more matches to look forward to for Sarah, the Voiceless Creator, and the Simulation Soccer League. I've been Socc. We shall see you next time.
Night.